in this class, we'll be seeing lab record number 7. We'll be trying to do this program. Let me just read and make you understand what it means. It just says to demonstrate system services using date time pickers and setting an alarm with notification, ringtone, and vibration. Okay, all of these will be utilizing a concept called system services. Okay, that's my target in this program. But in the meanwhile, on the way of getting this target, we'll be working on date time pickers and how to set an alarm using the alarm manager, how to pull or put a notification using the notification manager, and how to show or use a ringtone, okay, of your choice, how to use a ringtone manager. Okay, and then last is the vibration manager or vibration. Okay, that's a system operation which we'll be using. So this is what we are trying to do in lab record program number 7. Okay, let's go to the studio. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is, it's very simple. The design I've already done it in the last program, so you can refer that. So let me quickly do that design. It's just going to be 2 text boxes and 1 button. Okay, and the title will be text. I mean, just alarm or lab record. I'll just put lab record number 7. Okay, let me just change this constraint layout into a linear layout. Okay. I'll convert this view into a linear layout, and I'll convert that linear layout into a vertical one. And let's start with the first text view. Okay, so the first thing I've put is the text view. Second thing, what I want to show here is 2 text boxes. Okay, as I did in the last program, I'm going to use one as date. Okay, choose the date, and the next one will be choose the time, and the next one should be a button. That's all. I'm not going to put much, only these controls. Okay, so all I'm going to do is the text view will just going to say lab record something. This is going to say choose a date or pick a date, and this will be pick a time, and click on set alarm. That's all. Okay, let me just do the program now. Okay, let me start with the text view. I'm not going to call it programmatically, so I'm going to not put the ID. Let me just go to the text and say lab record 7. Okay, I'm only putting that much. I'm not putting more data there. Okay, and then the text size, the appearance, I'll just choose it as large, and I will choose the gravity to be center. Okay, and that is done. Next one is the edit text for date. Okay, again, I'm going to do this. I'm going to use it programmatically, so we'll just name it as ET date picker. Okay, I'll just put edit text which has date picker in it. Okay, I'll just put like that, and here if you want, you can also give a placeholder, a hint. Okay, choose a date. I can put like that. Okay, next one, I'm going to choose the edit text for time. I'm going to put ET time picker. Okay, and here also I'm going to give a hint saying that choose a time. That's all. So 2 things are done. Last one is the button. Let me go to the button's ID. I'll name it as BTN set alarm. Okay, let me refactor, and let me change the text of that button to say set alarm. That's all. Okay, and you know that I'm going to click on all these 3 controls. So when I click on these 3 controls, I want something to happen. So before that, let me just also choose all of these controls and give margin, because they are too close to each other and it is not looking good. So let me just put 15 dp so that they move away from each other. Okay, that's it, done. So we choose a particular date, we choose a particular time, and then we set the alarm. If you want, you can bring it to the center of the screen. That I leave it to you. Okay, so I have 3 controls on which I'll be clicking on. So let me go to the code and let me create a simple method which will handle the button click. Okay, so I'll just put public void. Okay, I'll just say click action or something like that, some action which you want to perform. Okay, only condition is that it should pass an object of view. Okay, that's it. So whenever you click on any of these 3 controls which is there in the design, I want to call this particular method. So let me just choose all these 3 controls. Okay, so here let me just choose all the 3 controls, and let me see if there is a method called on click. Okay, and let me just choose from the drop down click action, the method which I just created. Done, which means any of these 3 is clicked. this method will be called. Okay, that's what we have written. Now let me just write it like how we wrote the previous code. The first one is edit text. All the two are edit text. So I'm going to say edit text. One to take date txt. The other one is time txt. So two text boxes. I have one button there. Okay, so that button is to set the alarm. So alarm btn. Okay, I have three buttons, three controls. Now I'm gonna align them now. Date txt is equal to find view by id r dot id dot et date picker 1, and then time txt is equal to find view by id r dot id dot time picker et time picker, edit text which has time picker in it. The last one is the alarm btn. Okay, is equal to find view by id r.id.btn set alarm. So I've got all the controls which are there in the design here in the code. That first part is done. Now when you click on date picker or this particular text box, I want date picker dialog to be shown. And when you click on this, I want time picker dialog to be shown. Okay, so that's the next thing. Please remember, I've done all these things already. I'm just repeating it again. As part of this program. So if you don't understand what I'm typing right now, please refer the previous classes before coming to this class. Okay. So let me just go into creating a date picker dialog. So I'm going to say date picker dialog. I'll just name it as date picker dialog. Next one is time picker dialog. I'll name it as time picker dialog. Okay. As the system suggests me, I'll just use the same thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say date picker dialog is equal to new date picker dialog. Okay, I'm going to create a new object of this particular date picker dialog. I hope you guys remember how we did this. Okay, but instead of creating or what do you call, instead of initializing it this way, you can also say when you click on it, we can initialize them. Okay, we can create a dialog only when the button is clicked on it. So you can write it that way or you can call it this way. It's your wish. I leave it totally up to you. Only when you click on it or you can initialize it. The last class I wrote like this. That's why I'm writing it here. Okay, so let me create a new dialog. Now, if you want to create a new dialog, you need to pass some parameters which I've already discussed in the last classes. Okay, so first thing is the context. Second thing is the listener. Third thing is the year, month, day of month, which you want already to be selected. So first what I will do is I need a calendar instance. As I had already discussed in the last class, let me create a calendar instance. I'm going to create two calendar instance, one just cal, that's all. The next, that is going to hold the current date and time. And please note this program is targeting to set an alarm in the future. You can't set an alarm to the past, right? You can only set an alarm to the future. So I need another calendar which will hold the alarm date and time. So I'm going to create two instances, cal, alarm, and the one which is normal calendar. So let me just instantiate them both the same way. I'm going to just say calendar.getInstance, number one. Number two is cal alarm is equal to again calendar.getInstance. Okay, in the last program I did not create two objects because in the last program only the current date and time was required. But now you see I need the current date and time to show in the dialog. But when you choose a particular date and time, when I click on OK, I want to set an alarm to a particular date and time. So that will be stored in the second object. I don't want to store it in the current object. Okay, that's why I created two things. Now let me come back to date picker dialog. Here I need to pass 5 parameters as you already know. So first parameter which I need to pass is context. I'll just say this. Context is this class. In part of this main activity, I want this dialog to come. Second thing, the listener. I'm going to keep it null for a second. Okay, the listener. The date set listener, I'm going to keep it as null. Why am I keeping it null now? Because it's a block of code which I'll be writing later. Because I don't want you to miss the remaining 3. That's why I'm focusing on this. I'm going to say cal.get. Okay, it returns an integer field. What do you want? I want calendar.year. Get me the year, current year. Okay, done. That's the second one. The third parameter, which is year. The fourth parameter is month. How do I get that? Again, cal.get, okay, calendar.month. That's the second parameter which I need to pass. Third parameter, the fifth parameter, the last parameter which I want to pass is to day of month. I'll say cal.get calendar.day of month. Done. Okay. So this is the date picker dialog code. What are the 5 things I need to pass? Context, the listener, and the year and the month and the day of month. What you pass here as year, month and day will be the one which will be automatically selected when you open your the date picker dialog or time picker dialog, whatever it is. Okay. Now, I need to remove that null and create a new listener there. So I'm going to write new, and you see that only one interface I get. I'll just use that date set listener. Okay, now your system automatically arranges it in such a way that the first parameter is here, second parameter starts here and ends here, third parameter is year, fourth parameter is month, fifth parameter is day of month. So what should I write here? Okay, whatever you write here will be the one which will be shown to the user, which we have already done in last class if you remember. Okay, so I think we'll write that also and proceed, isn't it? Okay, so first you remember that I get year, I get month, I get day of month. I get these three things. Okay, all I need to do is to set it into a new calendar. So the date which you are choosing now is the date in which you want to set the calendar or the alarm, right? So I'm going to call that cal alarm, the second instance, and I'm not going to get, I'm going to set. Please note here I am getting, here I am setting. Okay, set what? Set needs two parameters. One, what you are trying to set, and what is the value. Okay, what am I trying to set? I am trying to set the calendar's year. What will be the year? Whatever is passed to me here. Okay, let me just write that word here. Done. So first line is done. Second, I'm going to call that same alarm calendar object and say set calendar dot month. And which month? This one, which is passed to you here. So month. Last one is the day of month. Okay, the date, the day of the month is the date here. How do I get that? Okay, so I can just pass that the same way, cal alarm dot set calendar dot day of month, comma, whatever is passed to you here as day of month. Okay, please note the first parameter is a constant value, it's inbuilt value, and this is what is passed to you. When you choose a particular calendar date, this is the one which comes to you. So how do I format it so that the user sees it in a zero padded way, a nice way to see that? Okay, we will write it with simple date format, like how we have discussed in the last class. I'll just name it as date format is equal to new simple date format. I'll tell you which format I wanted, DD, MM, and YY. You can just put it as YYY. Okay. I want the year in this way. Okay, so you can see that the format in which I want it is this pattern. Okay, this is the pattern in which I expect the thing to come here. Okay, I'll just use small y. I think this is fine. Yeah. So you see that I'm using this pattern. Okay, and I want to format the date which you have chosen into this format. How do I print it? Call that date txt. Okay, the text box, and say set text. Okay, what text do you want to set? Okay, call that date format object, which is date format, and say format a particular date. Okay, I did not create an object of date here. Why? How will I get date? Okay, just call the cal alarm, which is already there. I'll just say cal alarm dot. Okay, please note the one which returns date. Okay, I want a date to be formatted, isn't it? And this cal alarm gives me the date by using a method called get time. Done. Okay, this is the first step. Okay, so when will this be executed? This will not be executed as soon as the on create is called. As soon as the on create is called, only this dialog is getting initialized. All right, so when will this line of code, this 5-6 lines of code, when will it get executed? When you click on OK on that dialog. Only when you click on OK on the dialog. You have never told the system to show this dialog yet. Okay, which we'll be doing later. Let me finish the time also. Okay, so this is basically one line of code. Okay, but it is divided so that it looks neater. Okay, then let me go to the next dialog, which is time picker dialog. Let me just say is equal to new time picker dialog. Again, time picker also takes 5 parameters. What are the 5 parameters time picker requires? Okay, it requires context as usual. Okay, I'll bring it here. It requires the context, it requires the listener, it requires hour of day, it requires minute, and whether you want boolean, this one 24 hours or not. That's all. Okay, so let me start with this. First, context, let me put it as it is, this, and listener, let me keep it as null for now. Okay, then I'm going to say calendar dot, sorry, I need to get the object, right, of the current R. Okay, so I'm going to say cal dot get calendar dot R. Okay, especially R of day. That's what is passed also. Okay, I'm going to take that on. All right, second one, what I need to pass is the, sorry, after that, what I need to pass is the minute. Okay, so the next one which is highlighted there is minute. So I'll say cal dot get calendar dot minute. Okay, I'm not done yet. Last one, what is expected there is, do you want a 24-hour view? Yes or no? Okay, is it 24-hour view which you want? Okay, I don't want 24-hour view, so I'll say false. Is 24-hour view? No, I don't want 24-hour view, I want 12-hour view. Okay, so this is the 5 parameters: context, listener, the current hour which is supposed to be already chosen, and the current minute which is supposed to be chosen, and whether it is 24-hour view or not. That's all. Okay, so now let me just fill the listener part. I'll just type new and control space. You will get time picker dialog on time set listener. This interface. So now the program again formats it properly. Now on time picker dialog, how do I get the current time? Again, use the cal alarm and say set the time. Okay, what is the time? Calendar dot hour of day to whatever is passed to me. Cal alarm dot set calendar dot minute, and whatever minute is passed to me. That's all. 2 parameters. Okay, I just need these two alarms. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to again format it. How do I format it? Okay, please note again I'm going to use simple date format. Let me name it as time format now. Okay, but class name is date format only. Date class date has both date and time. So, but I'm changing the variable here so that you understand it. New simple date format. I'm going to give the timing in this way. R, okay, colon. If you want, you can give space, or that I totally leave it to you. Minute, and whether it is AM or PM, like how we did in the last class. Okay, that is done. Now all I need to do is call that time txt and set the text to what? Okay, call the time format dot format. Okay, you want the time from that, you just call the time format dot get time. Oh, sorry, the cal alarm dot get time. Done. Okay, so what have I done here is, as soon as, by the way, in the last class I had shown you what is formatting, what is parsing. Okay, this class I'm not using any of this so that the code looks simpler. This is only the code which is expected to make a dialog come. Okay, so once a dialog comes, okay, this is not the code to show the dialog. This is the dialog. This is the code which is going to happen when you click on OK. Okay, so dialogs have been created. Let me just minimize them so that they look smaller. Okay, so 2 dialogs have been created, and you know what code we have written in them. Okay, you can just revise them. So now, when do I show this dialog and when does this OK thing happen? When you click on something, right? So when you click on the text box, I want something to happen. When you click on the time text box, I want something else to happen. So how do I write the code? Okay, you can simply write it like this. Switch V. Okay, case date txt. All right, you can write like this. Okay, but I would not prefer this with a view. This is an object actually. Switch case is normally preferable with what do you call this one? I think you can see the message there. Okay, it is required with character, byte, short, int, character, or integer, or enum. Anything is fine. But instead of that, we'll have to change it with if. Okay, so you can write it like this, or we can write it like if v is equal to date txt. If the view which was clicked is date txt, what do you want me to do? Date picker dialog, show that. That's all. Else if, okay, v is equal to time txt. If the time txt button or the edit text of time is clicked on, call the time picker dialog and say show. Okay, else if v is equal to btn, alarm btn. If you have clicked on the alarm button, we'll be doing that code shortly. Okay, I've not written the code now. So now when you click on the button, nothing will happen. Okay, I'll write the code later. Let's check whether the time picker and date picker works. Okay, the code looks only this much right now. Let me just try this. Okay, And in the meantime, while my emulator is running, let's just quickly revise what we'll be doing after this particular thing is working. We know this will work. So what will be done next? After this, what am I supposed to do? Okay, let me just tell it in theory, then we will do it in practical. You choose a date, you choose a time, and you click on set alarm. Okay, while you choose the date and while you choose the time, the current calendar instance will be called. That's why we named it as cal. Okay, I hope you remember that. Okay, I have created two instances in the beginning, cal and cal alarm. Okay, so what is cal and what is cal alarm? Cal is for the current date and time. Cal alarm is the calendar instance which we are using to set a future date. Okay, so when the user chooses set alarm, okay, I'll be showing you what is the current date and time chosen by the user. That I can write it simply here by creating another method, okay, which I'll be doing once the program runs. But anyway, I hope you follow this. When you click on set alarm, I want to show you what is the current date and time you have chosen, and I'm going to set an alarm on that particular thing. Okay, when you set an alarm, what am I supposed to do? Is my application supposed to sit and listen to the alarm happening? No, I am going to use something called as broadcast receiver. Okay, and also I'm going to put a alarm manager. Okay, so I need an alarm manager to see or set an alarm in my system. Okay, I'm going to just set an alarm in the system with my alarm manager, and when the alarm manager reaches that particular time, I want a broadcast to be called. Okay, that's all. So let me just go back to my screen. Let's see whether that application which we just created works. Lab record number 7. Okay, it's opening. Let me just tap on it and see on date txt. Okay, what is supposed to come? If you remember in the last class, I told you why this error is coming. Why means I've already clicked on it, but I'm not seeing a dialog. But when I click on it once again, I'm able to see a dialog. Okay, you guys remember that I told you that the first action which happens on a text box is not click. The first time you click on it, it gains focus. Okay, the second time you click on it, the event is understood as click. First time you click on a text box, it is considered as focus. Okay, and what date was already chosen? 15/6/2021, today's date is already chosen. So let me choose a date, today's date only. Okay, let me just keep it like that and say click on OK. You see it's formatted in 15-06-2021. So a date is chosen properly. Let me go to the time again. Time also only received focus now. Let me tap on it again. I got 12-hour format clock. You can pick this. Okay, so let me just choose 11 and let me say 50 and click on OK. Okay, that's all. This button will not work. You can see that what time have I chosen for this alarm to be set? Today's date 11:50 a.m. Okay, so that's all. So first part is working. When you click on the set alarm, what do you want me to do? Okay, I want you to first find out whether you have chosen a correct date and time. So let me print the current date and time and see whether it is right or not. So if you click on alarm button, okay, I want to create another method. Okay, I'll create another method called public void set alarm. Okay, I'm creating a new method, guys. Okay, nothing to be passed. Just a simple method I am only creating so that I can call it here. So if you click on the alarm btn, just call this particular method. That's all. Okay, that's all I'm writing. So when you click on this particular alarm, what do you want me to do? I want you to see whether you have chosen or whether I am able to get the current or the chosen date and time. Okay, I'm not doing validation to check whether it is a future date or not. Nothing I'm doing. You will have to do. Okay, I'm just going to put a simple log message so that we'll see what is the date and time chosen. So I'm going to just say cal alarm. By the time the cal alarm is filled with the date and time which you have chosen. Okay, I'm going to just say toString. Just add this to the log when you click on set alarm. I'm going to try this. I'll go to the logcat and I'll only wait for this word which has the thing as test. Okay, why am I doing this way? There is a reason. I want to check whether when I click on that alarm button, I'm able to get what date and time I'm going to set the alarm. Not today's date and time, but the date and time which I'm choosing to set the alarm. Okay, so let the program run now. I'll choose once again date and time and I click on set alarm. I want the log to be added here with the cal alarm to be converted to a string. It will have everything. What that calendar has, you will be shown everything. Okay, let me just do that. I'll choose the future date. Okay, so let me just choose 19th of June, Saturday. Okay, let me just say choose a time and I'll choose the time as 12. Okay. So you see the date and time which I have chosen is 19th of June 12 o'clock. Okay, so let me just set the alarm. When I click on set alarm, a log has been added. I wanted to see why I put it as a log, not a toast, is because it's a big one. That's why I've used a log. You can see java.util.gregorian calendar, the time in milliseconds. Okay, in the future, it starts with Unix epoch. Okay, and a lot of things have been added. Which time zone are you following? We are following Asia slash Calcutta. Okay, and we have a lot of data in that. Especially, I'm going to look for which year it is. Year is 2021. Month is 5. It's actually not 5, but you know how month is stored here. Okay, week of the year, 25th week of the year. Week of the month is the third week of the month, and all these things are there. I did not set anything. I only set this much, date and time. It automatically sets the alarm or sets the calendar to this particular thing. Day of the month, it was 19, which I've chosen, and in this year it is 170th day of this particular year, and 7th day of the week because I chose Saturday or Sunday, I'm not sure. Okay, and day of week in months, 3, hour, day, minute, second, millisecond, everything is part of that. So which means I've chosen correctly and I'm able to get the current date and time from the calendar. Okay, so now let's go and set the alarm. How do I set an alarm when I have the date and time with me? Okay, please remember, when you set an alarm, you don't want anything to happen immediately. You want that to happen later. Okay, so if you don't want to go to a particular place immediately and you want to go to it later, we use an idea called pending intent. That's what I discussed in the last class. So first thing what I'm going to do is, and one more thing you need to remember is that I'm not going to run this application continuously till that alarm rings. Okay, you cannot wait for the clock app to always run in the background, waiting for your alarm to come in. Okay, so what should I do? I cannot use an activity. You'll be using a broadcast receiver, which means I will intimate and I'll say when a particular time reaches, only then call my application. Don't call my application simply. So what should I use? I should use a broadcast receiver. Let me right click on the app. Let me add a new other broadcast receiver. Okay, just like how we did the broadcast receiver for SMS OTP. Okay, you can just use a broadcast receiver here. Okay, I'll name this as alarm receiver. I'm not going to change anything else. I want it to be exported. I want it to be enabled. Alarm receiver, and click on finish. So another method is getting, or another class is getting created called as alarm receiver, which extends from broadcast receiver, and on receive it should do something. Okay, so let me come back to the code here. Remember what I want to open when you have done. Okay, intent. Let me create an intent first. Intent space I is equal to new intent. From this class, I want you to open the alarm receiver dot class. Okay, but do you want to open it immediately? No. When do you want me to open it? I want you to open it when the alarm time reaches, which means I cannot keep it as an intent. I have to convert it into a pending intent. So I'll just name it as PI is equal to new pending intent. Okay, and for the pending intent, you're supposed to pass 4 parameters. Let me just recollect and tell you what those parameters are. Okay, sorry, you're not going to create a new pending intent, but rather we're going to say pending intent dot get activity. Okay, so how do I create a pending intent dot get activity? Am I trying to get an activity here? No, this is a receiver. So I'm going to say pending intent dot get broadcast, not an intent, not an activity. Okay, so if you are going to another activity, then I'll write get activity, but I'm trying to go to a receiver, isn't it? So I'm going to write get broadcast. So what are the parameters I need to pass to this particular method? Okay, there are 4 parameters. Number 1, context. I'll just say this context from this context. And what will be the request code? I will just say that alarm code or something like that. I'll create one now. Okay, alarm code. That's a request code. So it should be in constant value integer. Okay, let me just name it as 1, 2, 3 or something like that. Let me come back. And the third thing what I'm supposed to pass is which intent would you like to execute in the future? The one which I just created. Next one, flag. Okay, so I'm going to call pending intent dot which flag update current. If already an alarm is set, update it to the recent one. I don't want many alarms to be set. Okay, only one. So update the current one which you have passed. If at all more than one comes. Okay, so that is done. So pending intent is created. How do I set an alarm? Okay, for that again I use an alarm manager. I'm writing it separately so that you know this is just a build up. Actually, how do I set an alarm? Using the alarm manager. Please note there is something called alarm manager inside your system already. I'll just name it as alarm manager is equal to get system service, and I'm looking for alarm service. That's all. Okay. I'm creating an alarm manager. How do I get that manager? Using get system service method, telling what service am I looking for. Alarm is a service running in the background, and it's a system based service. I did not create it. It's already there by the system. So I'll just concatenate or typecast it, and I'll get an alarm manager here. And to set the alarm manager, okay, with a particular alarm time, I just need to call dot set. This is the code, guys. That's all. 2 lines of code to set the alarm. Okay, so I'm going to set an alarm. What are the parameters I'm supposed to pass? Okay, number 1, what type of an alarm would you like to have? Okay, I'm going to call alarm manager dot what type. Okay, real time clock wake up, elapsed real time wake up. Okay, the correct one to use is RTC wake up, real time clock which will wake up. Okay, and it is coordinated time. Okay, it has to wake up your phone, or it has the capacity to wake your phone up because it's an alarm, isn't it? Okay, so that's why. Second one, how long later? Okay, trigger at a particular millisecond. How long should I wait till I trigger this? Okay, you remember the cal alarm we created, right? From that you can directly get time in milliseconds. You can get that method there. It automatically suggests you there. It says get time in millis. Okay, that's a long which is expected, not an int. It's a long which is expected, which I have from the cal alarm code. The next one, what do you want? A pending intent. Do I have it? Yes, I have. Done. That's all, guys. This is the 2 lines of code to set an alarm in your phone using your own way. Okay, now if I leave it like that, it will look like the button did not do anything. So I'll just put a toast. Okay, I'll just create a toast saying alarm set at. Okay, I'll just concatenate that with cal dot get time. It'll just show the date and time. That's all. Okay, so when you click on set alarm, I want this much to happen. That's it. Okay, let me just run the program and check whether this is showing me the date and time, and whether if this code is not working, it will not reach 67. It will crash here itself. If it is not crashing, which means I am in the right track. Okay, and one more thing you need to remember is when this particular thing comes. Okay, let's say that I'm setting an alarm today at 12 o'clock. Okay, so when it reaches 12 o'clock, what will happen? The system will call this file, alarm receive. Okay, I have not written code here. You are supposed to write one here. So let me just write a log, same place. Okay, I'll just write test. I'll just write it as alarm is ringing. Tomorrow we'll make this proper. Okay, that's all. I'm just going to put a log. As soon as this particular place is hit, when on receive is called, I want to see a log. That's all. Okay, let me run it again. And with that, I will stop, guys. Please wait for a minute till the program runs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set today's date and time only, because I want to see the alarm ringing, because I can't keep a future date and wait for it to ring. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the program which is there. Okay, I'm going to set today's date, today's time, and I'm going to see whether it receives it. Okay, so let me just choose today's date only, 15, and time I'll just choose 1 minute after now. Okay, sorry, 12 second minute. I'll just choose 12:1. Click on OK and set an alarm. Okay, alarm is set on Tuesday, June 15. Okay, today at a particular time. Okay, let me just see the logcat. If anything has got added here, this is the one which got added when I clicked on it. Okay, when did I set the alarm? I've set the alarm today. Okay, and I've set the alarm at 12 o'clock today. Okay, so 12:1 today. So once it reaches, when the phone time reaches 12:1, I'm supposed to see. Okay, and this program need not be running now. I can just close this. I can remove this from my memory. Okay, I need not keep it there running, because I've given that work to the alarm manager. Now it is running in the background without my app. My app is not there in memory now. But when the time reaches, okay, when the time reaches, you see that when the time reached, the alarm is ringing now, because it reached 12 o'clock, 12:1, and the alarm is ringing now. So where the log I've written in this place, tomorrow we'll be writing more code, like putting a notification and a ringtone and a vibration, all those things. In this place we'll be replacing. Okay, so that's it for today, guys.